Now, we have a very special treat this morning. Our special artist is Christy Mattal.
Well, good morning, everyone. Wow, let's take a deep breath together. Oh, so many blessings, yes. I am very honored to be able to serve in this music ministry, and I'm overjoyed that Ayana and David are raising their voices with me this morning. It's always such a thrill. You know, to be a soloist is fun, but it's more fun to sing with other people. And the song that we're going to do, that we're going to perform, it's called One Person. And it's a song that I wrote many years ago. And it exemplifies the idea that one person makes a difference. And that person is you, and that person is me. And life would not be the same without you. So we know that this is going to be a blessing for you. So we hope that you will enjoy it. Thank you. One person makes a difference in this world. One person, the world speaking truth. One person can touch others in their world. That person is you. One person makes a difference in this world. One person singing songs of peace. The melody moves all who hear it. That person is me. We can all make a difference. We can all make a difference. We can all make a difference. Every moment, every day, every hour, every way. One person living in God's power. One person with one idea for good. One person can change the course of history. That person is you. Every day, every hour, every way, every way. One person makes a difference in this world. One person, the world speaking truth. One person can touch others in their world. That person is you. That person is you. That person is you and me too. That person is you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Andre, woo, thanks for that solo. Thank you.
Thank them again. Original music and all. Andre, you can take a break, but I need you at the finish.
I got you.
Okay. So leave now. Good morning, everyone. You know, we were given a gift this week, and it's an aloe vera plant, and it's just unbelievable. It's so beautiful. And the person that gave it to us said, one of the arms is broke on the aloe vera plant. And immediately I thought, you know what? Anything that's real and alive and human has a flaw somewhere. And that's, I think, us as a community. We will have times, we will have flaws, there are things that won't go well, and you know what we can do? We can laugh through them, we can love each other through them and forgive, right? So it is. Now, next week, the Social Justice Book Group is going to discuss a movie.
The social justice movie.
Excuse me, the social justice movie. That's right, I have my help out here in the audience, by the way. So they will be discussing the film, and I have promised the Social Justice Book Group, or the Social Justice Team, the UJIMA, I can call it whatever I want. I have the mic. Can the church say amen? Amen. So that I would always do my best to speak on the topic when I do my social justice talk each month. So this month I'm talking about this video. So hopefully you'll join them. You'll watch the video this week on YouTube. It's free access to it, and then join the discussion at 6 p.m. next Wednesday. Now, Howard Thurman, you know, I love an overcomer story. I love an overcomer story. And Howard Thurman, to me, is the overcomer, my role model, my inspiration, as well as my hero. And although he was raised as a Christian by his grandmother, he started, by the way, his grandmother was born in slavery for the first 20 years of her life. And although that was the case, when he went on in life, what he built and developed was an intercultural, interracial, interfaith, and interdenominational organization dedicated to personal empowerment and social transformation through the ever-deepening relationship with the Spirit of God in all life. Does that sound like CSA? Yes. Thought I was in the right church. So my question this morning is, do you recognize that freedom is your birthright? You didn't earn it, you inherited it. It is your birthright. And we are free to choose the life that we want, and also we support that everyone should have the life that they want as long as it doesn't hurt other people. That's where we draw the line. That's where social justice starts. Your pleasure and your success in life cannot be to the detriment of other people. So my title this morning is Backs Against the Wall. And back against the wall is a bad position to be in because you've got to make a move. You've got to do something to survive. To avoid failure, you are going to have to do something. Your back is against the wall and you are going to have to make a move. What is your response when your back is against the wall? How do you respond? There is an ever-present issue for all of us that we always are making a decision whether or not we're going to go on or whether or not we're going to succumb to the pressures that we have in life. What do you do when your back is against the wall? What do you do when you feel trapped and life is hopeless? Howard Thurman writes in the book, Jesus and the Disinherited, what does Christianity or any faith community have to offer to people who stand with their backs against the wall? He answers this by drawing on the teachings of Jesus, the experience of the oppressed, as well as nonviolent responses to oppression. So although this book was written in 1949, I think it still has a message for us today because some people think it's still 1949. And you let that go wherever you want it to go. So Howard Thurman visited India to meet with Gandhi. And he engaged with a Hindu man. This is directly out of the book, as difficult as this will be to hear. He writes, we drank coffee in silence. He said to me, what are you doing here? He said, I know what the newspapers say about the pilgrimage of friendship and of rest, but that is not my question. What are you doing here? More than 300 years ago, your ancestors were taken from the western coast of Africa as slaves. The people who dealt in the slave trade were Christians. One of your famous Christian hymn writers, Sir John Newton, made his money by selling slaves to the New World, and he is the writer of the hymn, Amazing Grace. The name of one of the famous British slave vessels was Jesus. The man who brought the slaves were Christians, and Christian ministers, quoting the Christian apostle Paul, gave the sanction of religion to the system of slavery. And it wasn't until 70 years previous to this discussion that a non-professing Christian, Abraham Lincoln, changed the dynamic. During the entire period since this time, you have lived in a Christian nation which has segregated, lynched, and burned people like you. Even in the church, I understand there is segregation. One of my students who went to your country sent me a clipping about a Christian church where the regular Sunday morning worship service was interrupted by people leaving the room and going out and lynching a man and coming back and finishing the service. He says, I am a Hindu and I do not understand. Here you are in my country, deeply rooted in your Christian faith and tradition. And sir, I wish to not be rude to you, but I think you are a traitor to all the darker people of the earth. I am wondering what you, an intelligent man, can say in defense of your position. Harsh words. But sometimes people look at us and they don't understand the faith that is within us. They just don't understand. And we are provoked to answer the question. Tell them I said hi. We are provoked to answer the question about the hope that is within us all. Why are you hopeful in the middle of hell? Howard describes that the purpose of Jesus in the Disinherited, that's this book. It was a group of lectures that he gave, and a book came out of it. And he wrote, I write of Jesus as a religious subject rather than a religious object. There is a difference between following the teachings of Jesus and worshiping the God that we have created and called Jesus. There's a very big difference between those two things. If you know, everybody reads the same book, but there's a different impression that they have of what's going on in the book. When Thurman was young, his father died. His entire family was members of the church, but not his father. And the Christian minister refused to bury his father. He grew up in racist and segregated Florida, or Alabama is what we called it, where there was a law against black children going beyond the 8th grade. So to go beyond the 8th grade, he had to move to another city, live with a family that sponsored him to go to high school to the 9th grade. Can you imagine? True story. But he overcame, was the valedictorian from his class at Morehouse, and went and achieved a PhD from Boston University. You do not have to cave into adversity. You must decide to overcome the adversity. And the foundation that is in your life will give you the confidence to overcome your circumstances. Now, Howard Thurman ended up being a friend of Daddy King, and he was the inspiration to Martin Luther King. And there are just moments in life where you will read a line or hear a statement, and it reshapes your entire inner world. It shakes you for you to reflect on your situation. And this was my experience reading this book, Jesus and the Disinherited, by Howard Thurman. It just poses this question that I had to reflect upon myself. Nobody has to go with me, but I had to reflect on it myself when I read it, because I read it when I was in seminary, that what does the religion of Jesus or any faith community have to say with people who have their backs against the wall? If your back is against the wall, are our words able to encourage you to overcome or succumb? Do you decide to just go with it, or do you decide to overcome it? What do you do when your back is against the wall and you are trapped? Always be ready to give the answer for the hope that is within you. Always be ready. The question did not challenge my theology. It challenged my humanity. It made me confront my own fears and how I think of myself and how I sometimes can let the world around me shape who I am instead of listening to the sacred that is within me. Am I the only one? Now, even though in every tradition, whether it be Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Sikh, indigenous, or humanist, has a teaching that says and speaks to the disinherited and the ones who feel unseen. Feeling unseen. Have you ever been in a place where you feel unseen? Where you feel like your presence as a human being has been ignored. You are looked over. You are looked past. You are talked past rather than to engage. I shared with you last year, I was at a conference, and I was one of the darkest people in the room. And at this particular conference, and I loved the people that were there, and they were having a conversation about how to make their communities more inviting for diversity. And they started having this conversation, and I said, excuse me, I am in the room. Why don't you ask me? We can leap to all kinds of conclusions. That is not being seen. When someone says what you should think and what you should be and how you should handle life, and they don't even know you and refuse to ask you what your choices are. Every group speaks to the disinherited. And so we are finding ourselves this morning with a message to the disinherited. We know, though, all of us have experienced some form of being disinherited. All of us have been there, whether it be discrimination by race, by poverty, sexuality, gender identity, immigration status, illness, age, ability, and most often the religions that we have been born into that were designed, we would think, to protect us, often do not. And what we fear, and we must always understand that the experiences that we have are not to harden us, it is to draw us in sincerity and empathy to other people. But these kinds of experiences of being disinherited make your chest tight and make you lose sleep at night. You may not say anything to anyone else, but it does create fear and temptation. We know deception. We know what it feels like. We know how it is to be in a room and people make you feel that you are just not enough. We know that hate is the temptation to harden our hearts toward the same people who have been hard on us. This is always the danger. This is how we create the cycle that you are angry against me and I be angry against you. You show up needing love. I show up needing love and we get nowhere. We get nowhere. So when someone shows up or something or some email or a news story shows up needing love, if you need love too, there is nothing but division in that. There will be no reconciliation until someone makes the first move. We know hate. We know the temptation to become the oppressor in the same circumstances soon as we get the chance. And we know that there's a longing, though, within us all for something more. That we want to resist without becoming what we resist. We want to stand tall without stepping on anyone else. And we want to live with dignity even when dignity is denied to us. It's across every one of these traditions that each of us share the ache, but we also share the hope of it all. Every faith tradition has something that is the sacred center. The sacred center. It is the foundation. It is the core of it all. And you must find your sacred center by which to empower you to overcome. In Christianity, Jesus stands with the poor and the oppressed and the forgotten. In Judaism, the prophets cry out for the widow and the orphan and the stranger. In Islam, the Quran commands justice and mercy for the marginalized. In Buddhism, compassion is the path to liberation of all beings. In Sikhism, it recognizes the light that shines in every single person. And indigenous traditions, The sacred is woven throughout the entire form of the creation, honoring the dignity of life in all living things. No matter what your faith tradition is, you are not exempt for caring for the disinherited. But we all read the same text and come up with a different action. It is sacred not to be, the sacred is never on the side of power. It is always on the side of the vulnerable. Why? Because typically when people have power, they believe they can do it on their own. They also can take advantage of other people to make it work for them. And they often don't recognize the needs of anyone else. It is the vulnerable that are the most giving and the most caring of individuals. And I believe this is where the Spirit gravitates to the disinherited and to the vulnerable. I need to be there because I need that inspiration. The sacred does not side with the power. It sides with the vulnerable. Power believes it can do it, but we know it is done through us because all that God can do for us is done through us. And Thurman says that fear and deception and hate are the great destroyers of the human spirit. In every tradition, though, there is an answer for fear. There is an answer for deception. There is an answer for hate. And it is not soft love at all. It is courageous love. It is love as resistance. It is love as survival. It is love as liberation. So what does it mean to us today when our backs are against the wall? How will we respond? What does it mean? First, name your fear. Not to shame yourself, but to disarm it. We say it, and we say it in safe spaces so that we can take power over it, because at the point at which time that I speak my word, I take power over the circumstances that are in my life. As long as I can hide my fear, I am always at risk. Fear loses its power when it's spoken in community. We refuse the lie that we are less than the sacred. The sacred has given us this divine inheritance that is within us all. Our worth is not up for negotiation at all. It is not by society, nor by systems, nor by anyone can determine our worth. We determine our worth. We need to practice discipline and love. Amen. Not sentimental love, not passive love, but a love that protects your soul when you confront injustice. And you must confront injustice. And now this is the book of Ricky. Because I think some of the circumstances that we are in right now, where we're all in this ship together, is because some of us failed to defend others when they were in the ship. Don't blame Jesus for that one. That was all on me. But I am convinced that life will continue to become harder and harder and harder until we learn to love one another. And I'm going to speak a minute for Jesus. Jesus didn't condemn anybody. He didn't control anybody. What he did was loved everybody. That's how he created followers. He were loving them, not judging them. I don't know what these people are talking about on the news. I don't know that Jesus. I don't know that Christianity at all. And the book says you will know them by their fruit. And that fruit is rotten. Love says that I will not let your hatred make me hate or hate myself. We are to stand with the disinherited. The people that are at a disadvantage, we are to stand with them. We don't need to experience the oppression individually to stand with the people who are suffering. They are suffering. Our hearts should be drawn to care for those that are suffering. Compassion is absolutely not weakness. It is wisdom. It is tenderness, not fragility. It is our strength. None of us have to experience it all. We all understand what oppression is like, but we can be advocates to anyone who is suffering. We do this by returning to our sacred center, by whatever name you call it. Call it what you will, it knows what it is. It is the sacred center that reminds us who we are. That's where we are whole, perfect, and complete. It is our sacred core. We are not just individuals trying to survive. We are a community trying to live differently, trying to live together, different than everything that people said is not possible. They said you can't have that level of diversity. The question that I get asked by every minister is, how do you do that? And I go, very carefully, very carefully. Because invariably, if I say right, somebody's going to get mad. And if I go left, somebody is going to get mad, so you're going to get mad, right? You're just going to get mad. That's just the way it is, because everybody comes with in their eye what they think is right, and they always look for everyone else to agree with them. But when people don't agree with us, it is a time for us to reflect. Maybe I'm not right about this. When's the last time you reflected? Maybe I wasn't right about this. I did about 20 years ago. Didn't go back there. We are not just individuals trying to survive. We're trying to figure out how to do this in community. But the power and the strength and the reminder of your sacred core is in the process of the community. It's when we are weak, we know when we get together, we become strong again. We name the fear together. We refuse the deception together. We practice disciplined love together. This is why we do social justice activities. This is why we have videos and movies and all of the things to educate us on how we should support other people that have had a different experience often than what we've had. We stand with the disinherited together. We return to our sacred center. We will not be the people who just resist. We will resist the hatred that is offered to us, but we will speak truth to violence, who love and are losing we don't lose ourselves as we love someone who oppresses us. We're not a people who believe, we are a people who believe that every human being deserves the right, has the sacred within them, and has the sacred option of being able to live the life that they want. Freedom. And we will act like others deserve it. What are you going to do, though, when your back is against the wall? It's a bad position. You have to make a decision to avoid failure. What will be your response? Freedom is everyone's birthright. Beloved, as we prepare to go down from this place, I want you to hold this truth in your spirit that you are not the disinherited of God. You are God's beloved. You have been seen every moment of your life. You are the ones in which the holy has decided to place itself. You name your fears so they remove the power over you. We will face the temptation of hate today, but love, disciplined, courageous, justice-seeking love has claimed us again. So walk in knowing this, that the God that has stood with the disinherited stands with you, that the light that guided our ancestors guides us. The spirit that lifted the weary feet of the others will lift your weary feet. The love that would not let you go will not let you go. And now you must rise together. You must rise together to stand against the oppression. We rise as a people who refuse to bow to fear. We rise as a community that will not trade our integrity for acceptance. We rise as a congregation committed to loving boldly, living truthfully, and standing for every child of God whose back is against the wall. And may the Holy One, whatever name you call it by, the divine sacred, go before you and make easy and successful your path. May the walls of protection always be around you and strengthen you in every step that you make as we dwell in this spirit that is always with us and will never let us go. And now to the one who can keep you from falling. And unto the one that calls us by our name, who sees us, unto the one who sees you, loves you, and cares for you, and dwells within you. And so it is.